You know there's a saying, quitters never win and winners never quit? Well, I'm calling BS on that because in this video, I'm going to tell you why you need to quit now, why you need to quit today, but more importantly, what you need to quit. Welcome to the channel, Leadership with Mike. On this channel, I help managers become more confident leaders, and I do that with no nonsense sense, if that makes any sense. Now, before we get into the video, if you haven't already, go download my free PDF of 14 things that all managers should know before you get started. So I was having a discussion with a friend of mine, and they're like, you know what, Mike? I've had it. I'm done with this dump. I am ready to quit. I want to be done. I can't take it anymore. I'm not getting the respect that I deserve. I'm not getting the promotions that I'm up for. I understood the anger. I understood the frustration. But here's what we need to quit before we quit our actual job. The first thing that I want you to quit is I want you to quit following the crowd. I want you to quit blending in. So many times people are at work and they're like, I'm doing the same work as everybody else. I have the same responsibilities. How come John got promoted? I'm doing the same thing. Well, you're not doing the same thing. You need to quit thinking that you need to do what everybody else is doing. You need to lean into your strengths. You need to lean into your personality. When you do everything that John does, that does not make you stand out. That does not make you the go-to person that is obvious for the next promotion. That does not make you the go-to person when a great project comes up, because you're just like everybody else. You're doing yourself a huge disservice by following the crowd. So quit it. Next, sometimes we think we need the next promotion. We are up for that. And part of that is because we want shiny things. We're chasing the next shiny, fancy thing. And in order to obtain more in our life, we need the extra money that comes with a promotion. Quit chasing the shiny things. Quit overextending. What you might find is the job you have gives you so much more in terms of value and quality of life, but it's your chase of the next fancy thing, your chase of the next Prada purse, your chase of that next nice new car. Not saying I've chased cars, but quit the chase and settle in and realize and understand where you're at, what you have. Is that enough? I'm not telling you to stop wanting more, but do you have enough? Are you actually happy? Because chasing the shiny things is not making you happy, at least not for long. The next thing you need to quit is you need to quit trying to impress others. I remember working at the airport and people were like, oh, you're going to do that? That's not part of the job. And the person doing that would stop because they wanted to be part of the group. They didn't want to be seen as a kiss ass or a brown noser, and they didn't want to be seen standing out. They were more worried about what their peers thought of them than what they felt they should be doing, what they felt was the right thing. Doing the right thing is always the right thing, but they felt that their peers had more impact. They felt that how they were perceived by their peers was more important than how they perceived themselves. And that single-handedly can stop you getting a promotion because your supervisors, the hiring manager, everybody, they just see that you don't go above and beyond. You don't do anything to make yourself stand out. This goes back to the first part of following the crowd. Part of following the crowd is worrying about what the crowd thinks of you. That is something that you have to quit doing. Because here's the thing. The crowd, when you stop working at that place, when you transfer to a new job, a new position, most of those people aren't following you. Most of those people aren't going to be calling you on the weekend to see if you want to hang out. This doesn't happen. You start moving away from people that are holding you down. So stop trying to impress those people. Anybody that you need to impress in terms of peers, or you feel you need to impress, more than likely, they're just stuck in their rut. Don't get caught with them. At the beginning of the video, we kind of talked about, or I believe I led on that, we're ready to quit our jobs because we're not happy. We're ready to quit our jobs because it's not providing what it needs to provide. But first, I want to ask you to stop hating your boss. I know this may sound counterintuitive because there's so much talk about toxic bosses and toxic workplaces and toxic. Is it possible that you look at your boss as the enemy and it's all in your head. I'm not saying this is for everybody, but I remember a time where I didn't like my boss. And what I've come to realize is that I thought I could do the job better. I thought that they shouldn't have been in that position and I should have been in there. That's not their fault. I was hating them for something that I didn't do or wasn't able to do at the time. It had nothing to do with them. So my hatred for them, or my dislike, it put me in a bad spot. It put me in a position where I didn't want to get a promotion, because then I would be just like this boss that I don't like, but I really want this promotion so that I could be the boss and I can start to develop myself. So just quit hating your boss, because if you hate the person in the role that you want, you start to hate the role, and then it becomes, how can you put yourself in a position to get that role when you hate everything about it? The next thing that you need to quit before you quit your job, you need to quit guessing what you think the boss is thinking. Sometimes we tell these stories in our heads where, oh, our boss thinks this. Our boss is always giving me this extra work because he doesn't like me. No, you need to have a conversation with your boss. You need to understand why, and not in a why am I always doing all this work, but genuinely, curiously, why is it? Maybe the boss thinks that you're the best one. Maybe the boss, without telling you, is preparing you for the next promotion. A lot of people want to lean into the negative of how they're getting screwed and not look at the opportunity that might be being spoon-fed to them. So ask your boss why. Be curious. Be open. Be honest. And stop guessing what their master plan is and figure it out. The next thing that you need to quit is that you are not getting the promotion. You need to quit this because, first of all, it just puts you in a bad space mentally. Second of all, you can help yourself get the promotion. You can ask how can I help the company? How can I help improve? Is there a promotion down the line? Is there something I can do to put myself in a better position? When you bring all this information to the hiring managers, to your supervisors, it may be a news flash to them that you actually want the promotion, that you're actually trying your best to level up to be ready for that promotion. When we sit back and assume that they're holding it against you, or that they're never going to consider you for a promotion, that's a fool's game. And I'm going to give you an example. I got hired when I was really young. I got hired at a nightclub. And the intent, from what I understood from the owner, was that within the year, Mike, you'll be running the bar. You'll be the bar manager. But we're going to start you off as a bartender. No problem. I have bartending experience. So I was doing my thing. 4 months go by, and the bar manager, he was giving it to me. Never giving me good shifts. The shifts I got were on the bars that were never busy, and it was just, I'm here to make money. I'm here to survive. So one day, I got fed up. I'm not going on call. So they were calling me to come in. I said, I'm out. I got other plans. And I quit the job without quitting. I don't advise it, but I was done. I walked away. Come to find out that had I just talked to the owner, had I talked to the person who gave me the job to clarify my role, what I would have found out is that that bar manager wasn't going to be lasting much longer. That bar manager was actually the one I was hired to replace. I felt like an idiot. I made a story in my mind, and what I should have done is I should have quit talking to myself in that way. I should have quit assuming that I wasn't getting where I needed to go. I should have quit all of that, but I didn't, and it came and it bit me in the ass. So this is what I suggest to you. Quit all of these things. Then, if you find that where you work and the job you're doing and all the things is not what you want, quit. Quit what you're doing. Quit the job. Quit the people around you. There is no shame in quitting when you've put a solid effort in. Because here's the thing. You can be working at a company that actually is toxic. You can be working for a boss who actually wants the worst for you. And if you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I gave it an honest effort, I put everything in and it's not working out, then you're just quitting that job. You're not quitting life. You're not quitting your family. You're just quitting this part. And what I would call it is you're making a pivot. This doesn't fit. This doesn't work. It's time for me to pivot and go to a new company. It's time for me to pivot and go to a new career. It's time for me to pivot and control my life, because here's the thing. Your life, it's yours to control. My life, it's mine to control. So take control. Quit when it's time. Quit when you've put in the work and you've been honest with yourself. This whole video, we talk about quitting. But what happens when your job quits you? That's why you need to watch the next video, The Hard Truth About Layoffs. Okay, get your coffee. I'm going to relax a little bit, and then I'll see you there. Ciao.